Hey everyone at Liverpool Zone News. Blimey lads and lasses, gather round the telly or whatever screen you've got glued to your eyes, because I'm telling you, this one's going to knock your scout socks right off your feet. It's me, your old mate from the cop end, voice cracking like a fellow who's just downed a pint too many after a last-minute winner at Anfield. And I've got news that's not just big, it's bloody earth-shattering. Picture this, the Mersey's boiling over, the seagulls are circling like they've spotted a chippy on fire, and in the heart of it all, our beloved Reds have just pulled off the heist of the century. We're talking about a signing that would make even the ghost of Bill Shankly sit up in his grave, light a cigar and roar, "You'll never walk alone till the heavens crack open." That's right, folks. Liverpool Football Club has swooped in like a scouse eagle on the hunt and snatched the hottest talent brewing in the Brazilian cauldrons. A lad who's been tearing up the pitches down in Rio like he's possessed by the spirit of Pelé himself. Rayan Vitor Simplício Rocha. Rayan, to you and me, is coming to Anfield. And not for a king's ransom, mind you. No, this one's a steal. A proper cheeky bargain that's got the football world spinning like a dodgy washing machine. Hold on to your flat caps because this changes everything. The Premier League, it's about to get a samba shock to the system that'll leave the blue half of Manchester weeping into their prawn sandwiches. Now, listen here. I know what you're thinking. Another day, another rumour floating about like fog off the Mersey. But nah, this ain't no smoke without fire. This is a full-on inferno, and I'm sweating just whispering it. It all kicked off in the shadows, you see, those murky back rooms where the real magic and the madness happens. Word on the grapevine, straight from sources who'd sooner kiss a toffee than spill beans, is that our lads in the boardroom caught wind of this phenom months back during one of them late-night scrolls from grainy YouTube clips down in the Brazilian Serie A. Vasco da Gama's boy wonder, his Rayan fella, was lighting up the scoreboard like bonfire night, banging in goals left, right and centre, leaving defenders looking like they'd been hit by a tram. But here's the twist that had me pacing the lounge like a caged tiger. His contract down there was hanging by a thread, expiring end of next year. And with Vasco in a right pickle financially, debts piling up higher than a liver building, he was ripe for the plucking. No massive buyout clause, no daft demands. The lad's agent, some sharp Rio suit by the name of VTN Image, was fielding calls like a switchboard operator on speed dial. Oh, the drama, the sheer bloody theatre of it all. Imagine it, clandestine meetings in dimly lit hotel suites off the Strand, where whispers bounced off the walls like secrets in a confessional. Our negotiating whizzes jet off to Brazil under the cover of night, dodging the paparazzi like they were dodgy bailiffs. And there they are, haggling over tea and biscuits, or should I say caipirinhas and pastéis, with Vasco's suits. Pressure mounting from all sides, mind. Word leaks that our Catalan giants, those Barca boys who'd been sniffing around him since he was knee-high to a grasshopper back in 22, were gearing up to lob in a cheeky bid, dreaming of turning him into their next La Masia miracle. And don't get me started on the Serie A sharks, Inter and Juventus, lurking like wolves in the undergrowth, ringing his mobile at all hours with promises of pasta and glory. There was one night, sources swear blind, where our head honcho gets a frantic call at 3 a.m. from the agent's line, Rayan himself on speaker, voice trembling with that thick Rio accent, begging to know if the Anfield dream was real. Ebadade, Liverpool, the cop, Shankly's ground. Aye, lad, it's truer than a scouse pie at half-time. But tension? Mate, it was thicker than Liverpool fog. Deadlines looming, faxes flying back and forth. Remember faxes? Bloody relics. But in this game, they still seal fates. One wrong word, one slip, and poof, he's off to sunnier climes, leaving us high and dry. But hold your horses, because here's the kicker that drops like a thunderbolt from a clear blue sky. We didn't just snag him, we nabbed him for peanuts. Zilch, nada, a free transfer, pure and simple, courtesy of them contractual quirks that make footy's underbelly so deliciously chaotic. Vasco, bless their cotton socks, couldn't renew without shifting mountains of paperwork and cash they didn't have. So when our offer landed, timely as a Klopp counter-press, it was game over. No transfer fee, not a penny changing hands, just a gentleman's agreement and a wave goodbye. And the salary? Blimey, if this don't prove we're playing the long game, nothing does. We're talking a modest 25 grand a week to start, pocket change compared to the Galacticos raking in fortunes elsewhere. Aye, you heard right, low wages, entry level for a lad of his sparkle, but escalators built in that could rocket into 150 grand a week if he hits their milestones. 5-year deal, locking him down till 2030, with an option for another year if we live silverware. Bonuses? Oh, they're sweeter than a victory parade down Lime Street. Goals galore. 10 grand a pop for every 10 he bags in the league. Doubling for hat-tricks. Assists? 5 grand each, stacking up like Lego bricks. And appearances? 2,500 for every 10 games he graces the pitch, because we want him bedded in, not benched. Clauses, layers upon layers, like a Blackpool Rock. Release clause at 80 million after year 2 to ward off the vultures, but with performance triggers that could bump it up to 120 mil if he cracks the Brazil senior side. Metas, targets that'd make your eyes water. 15 league goals in his debut season for a £500,000 loyalty bump. Champions League starts by year 3, unlocking a £1 million bonus pot. And get this, a sell-on clause for Vesco, 20% of any future move, keeping it neighbourly. It's genius, pure Scouse cunning, low risk, ice guy reward, all wrapped in red ribbon. But wait, don't you dare hit pause now, because the suspense is just revving up like a V8 of Brands Hatch. As the papers were signed, ink barely dry mind you, the phone lines lit up again. Whispers of a last-ditch sabotage. Some Portuguese powerhouse slinging mud claiming that Rayan's got a dodgy knee from a youth knock. Rubbish. Absolute tripe. Our medical team flew him over incognito, straight to Melwood under false names, poking and prodding till they confirmed he's fitter than a greyhound chasing a mechanical hare. Tension peaked when his agent's voicemail filled with voicemails from rival scouts offering the earth, moon and stars. But Rayan? The lad held firm, eyes fixed on the floodlights at Anfield like a moth to a flame. It's Liverpool or nut, he had allegedly told his old man, that Vesco veteran defender who patrolled the backline in the 90s. One final nail-biting huddle in a San Paulo safe house, clocks ticking, hearts pounding, and boom, handshakes all round, champagne popped in secret, and the deal was done. But shh. Keep it under your hat. The official announcement's pending. Embargo till the ink's etched in stone. If this leaks early, the world's going to go potty. Expect the back pages to scream like it's VE Day. Now, let's peel back the layers on this diamond in the rough, shall we? Rayan Vitor Simplício Rocha. Born August 3rd, 2006 in the sweltering sprawl of Rio de Janeiro, where the favelas pulse with rhythm and the pitches are battlegrounds carved from concrete dreams. From the cradle, he was kicking a ball, you see, is there, Valkmar Rocha, that tough as nails Vesco defender who bust the back four from 95 to 2000, passing down the family trade like a sacred torch. Little Rayan, barely taller than a samba drum at 6 years old, toddled into Vasco's youth setup, eyes wide as the Christ the Redeemer statue. And from that moment, carnage. By 11, he'd notched 280 goals. 280 goals, turning Sabuto into slaughter. We're talking hat-tricks of breakfast, braces for 11s, defenders crumpling like cheap suits under his boot. Up the ranks he flew, U13s, U15s, U17s, where in 2022 alone he bagged 29 in 34, a strike rate that had scouts scribbling in notes in a frenzy. Barcelona came knocking then, all La Masia of rispers and no camp visions, but loyalty's in his blood. Vasco born, Vesco bred, and he stayed put, grinding through the youth 20s till that pro debut in mid-2023, a debut that exploded like fireworks over Copacabana. Clubs, straight line story, no detours. Vasco da Gama's academia forged him, tempered him like steel in a Rio furnace. Debut proper in the Serie A last season, 2024, and hasn't looked back. 44 games this year alone, 14 goals, an assist or two, tearing through the Brazilian top flight like a condor on the wing. Titulos? Ah, the silver that gleams. Youth Copa do Brazil winner in 2023 with the Youth 20s where he kept in and conquered. Kempe and Unai Carioca Youth crowns stacking up like trophies in a cabinet. Premios? Best young player in the Carioca twice over. Golden boot nods in every youth tourney from Sao Paulo to Belo Horizonte. And the Seleção? Brazil's youth size couldn't ignore him. U15 caps flowing in 2021. U17 World Cup qualifiers where he lit up the CONMEBOL nets. And now whispers a U20 call-ups for the next South American showdown. Full senior team? Not yet, but mark my words, that'll come faster than a slot counter-press. Style of play? Blimey, where do I start? This ain't no ordinary forward. Rayan's a right winger by trade, but fluid as the Amazon. Drifts central, ghost left, a centre forward when the mood strikes. Left-footed wizardry. That peachy left peg curling balls into the top bins from angles that'd make a geometrist weep. At 19, he's a towering 1'6", 185 centimetres of lean explosive muscle, 79 kilos of coiled spring, pacing the touchline at 34 kilometres an hour burst that'd leave fullbacks gasping like fish on a quay. Technically, sublime, dribbling close as a tango dancer, nutmegs for fun, first touch softer than a feather pillow, vision sharp as a Stanley knife, picks passes through needle's eyes, assists that dissect defences like a surgeon's scalpel. Physically, a beast, endurance for days, headers nodding in crosses like he's got a magnet in his brow, and tackles when pressed that crunch like autumn leaves underfoot. Mentally, ice in the veins led, thrives on the big stage, no fear in his eyes when the crowd's roaring or the score's against you. Points strong, pace, power, precision, ticks every box for the modern winger. Weak spots, youthful naivety now and then, a tad over-eager in the box, gambling on flicks when a pass might do, but that's polishing, not flaws. Give him 6 months and he'll be untouchable. Comparisons? Oh, the poetry of it. He's got that Robin-esque cut-inside menace, that blistering left-foot thunder, but with the flair of a young Ronaldinho.